I took my neighbor to court over his drone harassment, and he regretted it. About 6 or 7 months ago, my neighbor got a drone. I don't mind people having hobbies, but for some reason, he insisted on flying like the biggest jerk possible. He would hover in front of other houses and windows, try to race cars going down the road, and worst of all, he had a habit of flying his drone in my fenced backyard, buzzing over my dog, diving low just over my dog's head before circling around to do it again. My dog isn't small. He's about 70 pounds and a Malamute, but the drone terrified him, and I was worried about what would happen if it hit him. I asked my neighbor several times to please not fly in my yard and explained that it was scaring my dog. He basically told me to get lost and laughed in my face. When it still continued, I called the police. Unfortunately, there wasn't much they could do other than ask him to please not fly over my house/property. Finally, in late December, it happened. My dog got tired of his shit and managed to catch the drone right as it was diving towards him. He shredded the drone. The thing was just a jumbled mess of wires and plastic. The neighbor was pissed. He stormed over to my house, swearing and threatening me, which I ignored. A week later, I got a summons to small claims court. He wanted $900 for the cost of his drone and an additional $300 for supposedly denying him access to his property. The drone sat in my yard for a couple of hours before it was retrieved. Fuck that. He could have killed my dog. I don't have kids or a girlfriend. I just have my dog, who has been my best friend for the past 7 years. That dog has moved with me 3 times, was there when I graduated college, saw me buy my first house and my first new car. I love my dog. I went to legal advice and got some great help from them. Turns out, him suing me was the best thing to ever happen. When we got to small claims court, the judge basically laughed away his claims that I had intentionally trained my dog to attack his drone. But little did he know I was prepared. I had dozens of photos of my yard showing it was impossible for him to accidentally fly that low to my dog, videos of him harassing my dog in the past, and I had saved all my medical bills from taking my dog to the vet. $700 for an x-ray? Check. Another $250 to sedate him during? Why not? Don't want him being uncomfortable. Full dental exam with tooth cleaning/repair? For $100. Then there was the cost of anti-anxiety meds and a secondary checkup, wet food for a week in case his teeth were hurt, and extra just for good measure. In the end, the asshole ended up owing me almost $2,000, and now is being investigated by the FAA for not having a registered drone and violating several FAA regulations concerning drone flight, too near an airport, too close to other people, out of sight of the operator, and way above the maximum altitude. When my neighbor first got his drone, I never imagined it would lead to so many issues. He turned what could have been a harmless hobby into a source of constant irritation and danger. His reckless flying not only disturbed the neighborhood, but also directly threatened my dog's safety. Every day, I worried about the drone injuring my beloved pet, and my pleas for him to stop were met with mockery and dismissal. Calling the police offered no real solution, leaving me feeling helpless and frustrated. The incident in December was the breaking point. Seeing my dog, my loyal companion, so distressed and having to deal with the aftermath of the drone attack was heartbreaking. But when my neighbor decided to take legal action against me, it was a turning point. I channeled my frustration into preparation, gathering evidence to protect myself and my dog. The court case, which initially seemed daunting, became an opportunity to showcase the extent of my neighbor's harassment. In the end, justice was served. Not only did my neighbor's frivolous lawsuit backfire, but it also highlighted his numerous violations. The financial compensation was secondary to the validation of my concerns and the protection of my dog's well-being. This experience taught me the importance of standing up against bullies and being prepared to defend what matters most. It was a challenging journey, but ultimately, it brought peace back to my home and ensured my dog's safety.